Hello everyone, my name is Danil Nevsky. I am maybe a bartender, maybe an online guy. I live in Barcelona, Spain. This is the 6th country I've lived in. I am a professional gypsy. Back in 2008, I was a young guy who was studying at university and I wanted to meet women. And I was very horny. So I went to work in the busiest bar in my city, which was a small city in Scotland, where there was lots of women. And I got a job as a barback. Then I got a job as I moved up. And I remember we used to have this thing called mixology classes. And we would make like 3 drinks, and there would always be girls who would come to buy these classes, and we make 3 drinks and we talk about the mojito, the cosmopolitan, and then they make the drinks with us. And yeah, that's how I got into the cocktail world. That was my first ever step. And it was always girls on like parties before getting married, those bachelorette parties or Christmas parties, and there was always a 45, 47-year-old mama that would touch you a little bit too much. So how do I come up with some of the content ideas, some of the things that I do? Realistically, one of the things that I was always being told was I should shut the fuck up. My bosses tell me that, my mother tells me that, my wife tells me that. I talk too much. And I would always like see, atención. I think bartenders, we work with so many people that we have an automatic bullshit filter. If somebody comes into the bar and you look at their face and you feel the energy, in 5 seconds you can tell that's an asshole. You can just feel it. It's like an instinct. And sometimes somebody comes in and you go, oh, what a great energy, and it's automatic. So, because we have a bullshit filter, sometimes we see something and we're like, we see the truth behind it, but we're scared to share because, it's not good. The truth is not always good. And I'm an idiot, so I was willing to share the real, what I think, with the thoughts and feelings, the conversations with your friends at 2 a.m., having shots of Fernet and having a beer. The ones that you enjoy with your colleagues, where you're all speaking the truth. So I thought, wait, why don't I share that online? I'm sure if we all do this, then we can all connect. And turns out it works. That's it. My most popular thing that I do is these truth with a subject, with a truth vocabulary. That started based on a different page that I saw called Truth Vocabulary, and they do that for like everyday objects. And I was like, wait a minute, but I know the bar industry, that is my life. Can I take that concept and bring it to bartending? Because the only way to make the jokes that I make is to know the bar industry. They're not very popular for mainstream. My target is professionals. My target is us, my colleagues, my bartenders. There's 8 billion people in the world. According to a survey in Europe, 1.2 billion people work in hospitality. So even if there is 50 million bartenders there, I only have 70,000 followers. I'll take 50 million. I don't need 8 billion, I need 50 million. I talk about this a lot because I have a lot of opinions on this. First, I don't think that the top 100 most influential ranking, which is only like 3-4 years old, I don't think it's real. Why? Because the real top 4 most influential people in the bar industry is the CEO of Diageo, the CEO of Pernod Ricard, the CEO of Bacardi, and the CEO of William Grant & Sons. Those people have an idea and millions of people will do it. If I get hit by a bus tomorrow, people will maximum put a status on Facebook saying, oh, Dan was so funny, now he's dead. So I don't think that that's real influence at all. Somebody can put a Parmesan on an espresso martini and everyone is making it, and that's way more influential than anything else. So that's my thoughts on influence, right? I think that those things, it's like religion. The more power you give this thing, which isn't real, the more power it has. I don't treat myself in this way. I don't need to be a pope. For me, I'm just sharing my ideas and my thoughts. If people share back or they respond and, we can come to some sort of idea. I think the only way to improve and to develop is by doing. Even if what you're doing, you can make mistakes while you're doing it. But if you don't do anything, nothing happens. So with regards to that, in terms of responsibility or whatever, the first time I got on that list, it caused me a lot of problems in my business because my business partner wasn't on the list. And I could see that it caused problems. So I was like, take me off the list. I don't need this in my life just because I'm on some list. The list did nothing for me. I managed to put on my email, I'm in the top 100. Nobody gave a shit. Then I got higher on the list, and I got higher on the list, and the list now is like a new list. So as the list gets more important, the more power we'll give this list. I think that the way I feel when I got into like the top 10 was I felt like I had a target on my back because now people were treating me differently. Before I was just that Instagram bartender, and now people are trying to put like different things on me, like you have a responsibility for this, for that. No, fuck you. I'm not a politician. I'm not trying to be in charge of a country. I'm not asking to be in charge of the bar industry. I'm a person who does what I do within the bar industry and I share it online, right? This is not a job that I applied for, and that is not a list that I am asking to be a part of. If I get voted on a list, fine. Everyone watching this, bartenders, bar owners, brand ambassadors, everyone, you are responsible for your life, no one else. If you don't get up in the morning and you're not on time for the bar seminar, if you don't get yourself a ticket to a bar show, if you're late for work, or you don't do the prep, or you don't serve your guests, that's your responsibility. Don't blame anyone else for your bullshit, right? I am the laziest motherfucker in the world, right? I would rather do nothing. I love video games. I would sit every day if I could playing Call of Duty, World of Warcraft. I love Counter-Strike. League of Legends was my last addiction. But I know that, and I could smell and not shower, I'll be awful. But in order to do what I want to do, I have to get off my ass and do it. And that's just discipline and self-training. So with regards to responsibility towards bartenders, I think there is some universal values like violence is bad. All violence is bad. You cannot justify violence, right? So calling for someone to be hurt, no matter how much you disagree with them, is bad. Rape is bad, sexism, racism is bad. But when the intention is to be bad, that's when it's bad. If you miscommunicate, misunderstand, make a bad joke, make a problem, and then you have 500 people who are going to set you on fire, that means they're a piece of shit person, and you need to cut them out of your life, because then they're not worth it. And focus on the people that give you value. Our industry is about compassion, right? Every day we have hundreds of people who come into the bar, and you serve people from every different position in life. Bartenders and waiters and bar owners, they see hundreds of people. We have more social skills than they do. They sit in an office with the same team 50 hours a week. They don't know things that we do. They don't know how to handle different races. They're children socially. So we need to be the ones to guide and help and teach. Even if it's very difficult for us mentally, because we get more tired from serving guests and listening to their emotions and smiling than we get standing on our feet for 10 hours. What is the advice I will give a younger bartender or possibly ambitious bartender that has been working for quite some time and is struggling to possibly move up in their career? There is a very famous phrase called the definition of insanity. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over and over again, hoping for a different result. So if you're doing something, the same thing for 8 years, and you are not getting the results you want, change it. Simple as that. I think that most people, they work for like 3 years, and they start to get very depressed. Like if they work on the same bar, the same project, after 3 years, you get like fatigue. You get tired, because it's the same shit. It's like going to an office. Bartending is the same as going to an office. It's repetition over and over again. Cleaning, restocking, serving, cleaning, restocking, serving, cleaning, restocking, serving, smiling. So don't think that you're better than an office worker or a garbage man or anyone else. It's the same thing over and over. So break that circle, because any other advice I will give you might not help you. We're all over the world you are. You know yourself better than anyone. So if you know you have gaps in your knowledge, have you done anything to fix that? If you possibly work in a bar where the bar manager doesn't like you, so you feel like you can't progress, why are you still there? Okay, so maybe you have financial responsibilities or geographical responsibilities. So you need to weigh what is more important for you, your career progression or your responsibilities. Life is a bitch, it's not fair, but you need to decide how you handle it. If you are stuck in a city and nothing can change, and if you've done everything possible to try and change it, all the changes, you can look at yourself in the mirror and be proud you've done everything you could possibly do, and it's just not worked out, right? But there's nothing worse than looking yourself in a mirror and realizing that you could have made more of an effort, you could have made some changes, and then feeling bad. Because then that's a circle of darkness, because then people lie to themselves, and that's the worst thing you can do.